Ladies and gentlemen, Senator John McCain has served his country in battle, in the halls of Congress, and through his tireless efforts to get young Americans to devote themselves to a cause that is greater than their own self-interest. Senator McCain, on his first day as President of the United States, is ready to serve as Commander-in-Chief. As the mother of a Special Forces seaman, and many of you who have children and grandchildren in the military, a strong Commander-in-Chief who will protect our American people, regardless of how tough that fight is. You, sir, we welcome you here as our future Commander-in-Chief and the next President of the United States.
Thank you. Thank you, Susanna. Thank you for your son's service. And before I go any further, I see these funny hats around, and I'm always honored, always honored to be in the presence of our veterans who have served our country. So could I just ask our veterans to stand and say thank you for your service. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Honored that you're here. Thank you. I salute you. Very honored that you're here. Thank you, Susanna. And President Cruzado, thank you for your kind hospitality here at New Mexico State. And a big event took place yesterday, as you know. A young man who was the son of illegal immigrants won a gold medal in wrestling from right here in Las Cruces. Henry Cejudo, I believe, is a proper pronunciation. I would point out that he grew up in Arizona also, but as a mediocre high school and wrestler and at the Naval Academy, I am especially admiring of the first gold medal the United States has gotten in 16 years. I know you're proud of Henry, and if you saw him last night, it was quite moving, his statement about how proud he was to be an American. Very nice, very nice. So I want to thank all of you at New Mexico State, and tonight there's a great program going on, the Pete Domenici Public Policy Forum, and I think it's great that we honor Pete Domenici, a great member of the United States Senate and a great servant of this nation. Thank you for your support of him for many, many years. And so I want to say thanks for being here. I'd like to make a few comments, and then I'd like to do what this is supposed to be all about, and that is listen to your questions, your comments, your concerns, your views, your ideas. That's what town hall meetings are supposed to be. That's what I think America should be about. And I'm sorry that Senator Obama is not here with me today. I asked a long time ago for Senator Obama to come to town hall meetings with me. A little bit of history is that Barry Goldwater and Jack Kennedy had agreed to fly around the country to have town hall meetings all over America. Unfortunately, the tragedy in Dallas intervened. But that's what it's supposed to be about. Not the sound bites, not the various attack ads and all the stuff that seems to go on, which I don't think inform the American people very well. Saturday night, I had the opportunity at least to respond to the same questions that Senator Obama had, and I think the American people have made a judgment on that. So I just want to speak briefly with you about a couple of issues. And first of all, you know that I've been called a maverick. Sometimes it's meant as a compliment, sometimes it's not. But it means that I understand who I work for, I don't work for a party, I don't work for a president, and I don't work for a special interest. I don't work for myself. I work for you and the country that I love. And that's what I've been about all my life. And I spoke up against my party for out-of-control spending. I think you all know that we've spent money in a way that has mortgaged our children's future. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. You know, Ronald Reagan used to say, Congress spends money like a drunken sailor, only I never knew a sailor, drunk or sober, with the imagination of Congress, and that's a pretty funny line, and I use it fairly often. I use it so often, I'm not making this up when I tell you I got an email from a guy that said, as a former drunken sailor, I resent being compared to members of Congress. So I spoke up against the pork barrel spending, and it's going to stop. I spoke up against the administration for their mistakes in Iraq. And I fought for the surge that's going to bring our troops home with victory and honor, not in defeat, as Senator Obama wanted. Now I'd like to talk to you just for a couple minutes about what you all know has been going on in a small little country far away from the United States of America, the country of Georgia. Georgia was one of the first Christian nations. In the 3rd century, the king of Georgia converted to Christianity. If you go to Georgia, it's a beautiful little country. There's churches that go back to the 4th and 5th century. It was part of the Russian Empire. Then they became part of the Soviet Union. They broke free and they had a terribly corrupt government. And there's a young man named Saakashvili who went to school in the United States of America. He went to George Washington University and then he went to Columbia, which, by the way, where my daughter Megan went to school. So Megan, please thank you and tell about the tuition costs there. Very proud of her achievements, and anybody who knows of openings for art history majors, please let me know after. I'm very proud that she was able to go to such a wonderful school and get a great education. But so did Misha Saakashvili. And he came back to Georgia, and there was a whole bunch of other young people like him who wanted democracy and freedom. They had a corrupt government headed by a guy named Shevardnadze, who you may remember from the days of the Cold War. And they had a peaceful revolution, and they took over, and they were putting democracy and freedom and human rights, and they were prospering. And guess who didn't like it? Vladimir Putin didn't like it. So, you know, we'll read about it in the history books, but we'll go through it and as we parse what happened, and I'm sure that there was some provocation, but the fact is Russian aggression was overwhelming, brutal, looting, murder, killing, and they still, to this day, even though having signed a ceasefire agreement, are not leaving. Why do we care? Of course we always care about any country in the world where democracy and freedom is maybe strangled in the cradle. But we also care because of what happens in the region. The old Russian ambition predating the Soviet Union is